Well, thank you very much for stopping by our emergency operation today. This is the Metro DX Club, and we have members in Orland, Tinley Park, Palos, Oak Forest. I live in Morris, and this is just one very, very small operation here compared to this nationwide exercise. This is an exercise organized by the American Radio Relay League based up in Hartford, Connecticut. And they represent ham radios in the government, in the International Telecommunications Union, and so forth. And it's their intent to be sure that we're prepared to help our country in the case of emergency. This morning at 9 o'clock, we came out, began our setup here. This was just an open field when we first showed up, and in 2 hours, we had our radio stations up and operating. And this is either on high frequency or very high frequency for local communications or transcontinental or worldwide communications right from this little trailer. It's pretty neat, really. And we have members in our club that range from probably having just gotten their license in 2 or 3 months ago to over 50 years. So, and the age probably, well, we had one young fellow here this morning, I can't imagine he was any more than 13 years old. So there's no age limit on this service at all. The neat thing is, when all other modes of communication are not available, the phone lines are down, the tornado wiped out all the cell towers, things like that, or particularly a hurricane, which is so widespread, ham radio always works. That's the neat thing about it.
Why does it always work?
It always works because we are not restricted by infrastructure. We don't depend on the telephone wires and so on. We have an emergency power generator out here right now. So this is a completely self-contained radio station, two-way radio station. And as you can hear in the background, they're using Morse code. Now, a lot of people think Morse code is kind of dead because, well, government, ships at sea don't use it anymore. They use satellite navigation. Well, it's still very popular with ham radio operators, and we find it's very effective too, because you can hear the signals are very clear. You may not understand what's coming across the radio, but it's very easy to understand these tones. And it's just a neat way to be able to communicate with others, again, as a worldwide basis. The hobby itself has been around probably since the 1920s, I would guess, and there are a lot of many very experienced and very bright people in the hobby. You don't have to be a millionaire. It does cost some money, but there's equipment available at a very reasonable price too. So you don't have to go out and spend thousands of dollars. Now you might say, well, what's the guy doing over here? The unit he's using with his left hand, this is a transceiver. This is a combination transmitter and receiver. And right now he's receiving these Morse code signals. This is made by a company named Yaesu. There are 3 or 4 main manufacturers of ham radios. And you can see it displays the frequency in the middle that he's operating on. And that's 14.036 megahertz. And then on the left-hand side, you can see the signal strength of the incoming stations. And these are the stations we're actually hearing. There's a single tone there, but you can see that we can see those signals. Each one of these radios has their own power supply. They all operate on 12 volts. And our generator outside provides 120 volts. And each one of these power supplies steps it down to the proper voltage. Each one of our radios here is computer controlled, so he can turn the dial and tune, or he can do the same thing by using his laptop PC. And he's keeping track of, as he makes contacts, he'll keep track of them. And this little segment over here, this lists all the call signs, and these are all the times, and these are all the frequencies that have been contacted from our station today. So right now, I don't know how many we've I don't know how many we've had so far because the list of contacts is not up there as far as a summary.
Now, do you know by that information where it's coming from, where the incoming signal is coming from?
Yes, exactly, because as in this first one, that was Quebec, Canada, Nevada, Northern Long Island, San Joaquin Valley, Eastern Washington, Southern Texas, Western Texas, and it just goes on. Here's one in Puerto Rico. You'll see there aren't a whole lot of international contacts because this is mainly a USA operation today. But some guys, particularly in Germany and Italy, Germany and England rather, are quite interested in contacting hams in the USA during field days, so they'll be in our log too. And that's what this thing is called. This is a log.
So the signal you guys send out from here, it goes across the world? It can
Yeah,
fly
it
far?
could. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So I don't know what else I can say, but thank you very much for visiting us, and I hope that this has been just a little bit of a tip for the wise for if something happens, you can depend on Ham Radio because we're around.